Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us today. Before we get started, this is Black Girl Joy, but Black Girl Joy is still growing. So please share, subscribe, do all the things in all the places right now, like right now as I speak. Right now as I speak, share, and subscribe. So today we have a very, very interesting conversation. We all have secrets. We all have secrets. Even if we're the most transparent people, we all have secrets. And so today I'm joined by a special guest who at 17 realized that she was living a huge secret. I'm going to welcome Miss Falisha Riaye. Hey.
Hey, Joy.
Hi. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So we're going to get into her story, but I want to say, this could be a sensitive topic. So if you feel like anything we say is triggering, which I don't think it should be, but if you feel that way, it's okay. It's okay to leave. Mental health is our top priority, right? All right. So, Miss Falisha,
Yes, ma'am.
you are 17 years old. You find out a family secret. Can you take us to that moment?
I can take you to that moment, Joy. So I'm 17 years old, and my mother was admitted to the hospital, so I had to go back to the house to find some paperwork for her. So I ran across some other paperwork that I probably wasn't supposed to see that said that they were adoption papers. And
Wow.
I'm looking at the paperwork like, who's adopted? Like, where is he adopted? And I opened that paperwork and it was about me. It was Falisha Johnson at the time. That
Oh.
was my birth name. I didn't know who she was, but it was me. Um, and that was the beginning of a lot of the uncovering of a lot of secrets for me.
So you're 17 and you're like, who are these adoption papers? How did you find out? Well, I'm guessing if it was Felicia, were you going by Felicia at the time?
Yes, my adopted parents kept my first name,
Okay.
spelling and all, but I was born Felicia Johnson.
Gotcha.
But I was being raised as I was adopted as Felicia Calloway, so I didn't know who Felicia Johnson was.
Was there a little trigger in your brain like, huh? They got my same name and my same birthday?
Well, it almost was like it was a secret, but it was almost confirmation because I knew I looked like nothing in Miss
Oh.
Calloway's family. I didn't look like anyone. And it was always, there was a difference in the way that I was treated by some of her family members. So, and I often wondered why, like, why don't they like me? Or why do I get treated like the other kid or whatever?
Hmm.
So I knew that there was something, but I didn't know. I couldn't put my hands on it. But that was the moment of confirmation for me. Like, here we go. I knew it. So that sparked my interest in asking her some of her family members. I asked her, girl, they held on to that secret. Some of them took it to their graves to this day. Miss Calloway swore she had me, gave birth to me. She swore it. Her closest nieces, sisters, who her family. Oh, we remember when she was pregnant with you. No, you don't. She wasn't ever pregnant with me. Just secrecy. To this day, I don't understand what the secrecy was for because clearly I was not. That was not my DNA. That was not my tribe.
Wow.
Yeah,
So let me ask you this because you called her Miss Calloway just then. I'm guessing you grew up calling her mom.
I did.
And what is this the point where you transitioned to Miss Calloway?
Well, no, right now I'm working through things and I
Mm-hmm.
have been for the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, she's Miss Calloway. because I feel like, there's so much there to unpack. And
Yeah.
she's not here to help me unpack it. My birth mother's not here to help me unpack it. So I'm not necessarily feeling warm and fuzzies about either.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we'll talk about that forgiveness piece later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miss Calloway.
Oh, that's interesting. So when you say you felt like you were treated different, can you share some of the examples of that? And I say this because me and you talked about adoption as well, right? So even not knowing you were adopted, you kind of felt like an outsider. So just thinking about our families as we talk about this, how we may be making people feel like outsiders intentionally or unintentionally. So what made you feel like you were kind of like this outsider or being treated differently?
So, everybody's not on board to whatever if I were to adopt a child, that does not necessarily mean that my entire family will accept that child.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna get kickback from somebody. And a good example for me, and one that stands out in my mind, is I used to go to hang out with my cousins on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
and they had their aunt that came from overseas somewhere. Her husband was in the military, so it was a big deal when she would come to town.
Uh-huh.
And she and my mother's niece went shopping. They bought all the kids' toys, all the kids' clothes. So we were like waiting for them to get back, like, oh my God, I wonder what they brought us from the store. So everybody got their stuff, and then my mother's niece said, "Oh, we forgot to get that gal something."
Oh,
To this day, that just breaks my heart, because first of all, you don't treat children different. I know that, because
no.
I would never do that. I don't care if they're adopted. I don't care if they're not a part of your family. And it would just be the looks, the whispers, the it was just always I was treated different. Like I
Mm.
didn't, everybody knew something that I didn't know, or I was that gal. Or,
Wow.
yeah, it's real. And so that's why I always say, Joy, the worst thing that you can say to an adoptee is, "Oh, you were blessed that you were adopted." You have to look at it from the adoptee side as well.
Mm.
Yes, I had a good life. Yes, I'm grateful for the village who stood around me and made sure that I got what I needed to get because they saw something in me. But that was the village. That was not the nuclear family.
So tell me, so you're telling us a little bit about that family. And how old were you when that happened?
Oh gosh, I probably was about 9 or 10, but I still can. It's ingrained because it hurt so bad. It hurt as a child. I
Yeah.
cried. I was like, oh my God, I didn't
Was
get
that the
anything.
first time you really, really felt like it was overtly expressed that you were almost like an other?
Yes, until I found out, and then I started thinking back. Then
Mm.
I started remembering things, but at that point, that's the first thing that stood out for me.
Wow. Did you tell any adult, like your mom, your adopted mom?
Yeah, I asked her. I flat out asked her because I was on a mission. I was like, "Am I adopted?" And she cried and she was like, "Oh no, I love you. Don't leave me." I think she was afraid I would leave her or abandon her
Mm.
because she was older and she couldn't have children. So they adopted me when she was much older. Girl, I grew up, my friends' parents were a lot younger than mine.
How
So
old was she?
she was 46 when she adopted me.
And you were a newborn?
No, I was two and a half when they
Oh,
officially
so she
adopted.
like barely missed that period where you would remember
Right.
anything. Wow. So she was much older.
Yeah. So it was. So I did ask her, and I just backed off because I saw where it hurt her a lot.
Hmm.
I asked my neighbor across the street because I went to her kindergarten, and I was like, "Miss Jennings, do you know anything about me being adopted?" And she said to me, she said, "Felicia, your birth mother tried to come see you, But Miss Calloway and Mr. Calloway at the time, he died when I was 4. But she said they told her to never come here again. And she said, if you
Wow.
ever see your mother, you will know her because you look just like her.
Wow. So were you all in the same community?
Yes, a little bitty community in Bessemer, Alabama, Roosevelt City,
What?
Alabama. Shout out to Roosevelt City, Alabama.
Shout out Alabama. Wait, so you guys are in the same city.
Yep.
Did you, when you found out who your mother, how did you find out who your mother was?
Now my birth mother was
Your
in a
birth
different
mother.
city. She was in Montgomery, which
Okay.
which is the capital of Alabama. We were
Uh-huh.
in Birmingham, so we were in different cities. But I'm sorry, what was your question about my birth mother?
How did you find out who your birth mother was?
Oh, now I had excuse me, when I found the paperwork, it had my original birth certificate in
Oh,
there.
okay.
So it had her name, Mary Laster Johnson. So I had that all along, but that's such a common name. And then I didn't have access to the internet because I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but we didn't have internet access back then. So, it was like hard. And then in the state of Alabama, records were sealed. So you had to be dying or have you had to go before the court to get your records unsealed. And very, very few times could you get that done, especially in the Black community. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't trying to unseal nothing.
Wow.
So, I just for years I had her name, I had the address that she had on my birth certificate, 2184 Traction Avenue, Montgomery, Alabama. I will that it is ingrained in my mind. So I knew, but that she wasn't there anymore, of course.
Yeah.
So I knew her name, and I knew that she had four children when I was born. So she was 26 years old when she had me.
All right. So now you have this name, right? This name. How do you what did you learn about your mother? Your birth mother?
Well, let me back up a little bit and tell you how I actually found my family, I
Uh-huh.
guess.
Yeah.
Through ancestry DNA. For years I was like, I need to do ancestry. I need to do ancestry. So about 2 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it and just see what happens. So I submitted Ancestry and 23andMe. So Ancestry came back with a high match. It was my nephew who is a doctor in Montgomery, and at the time I was like, who is this match? So I reached out to him on Ancestry. I was like,
Uh-huh.
hey, this is my history. My paperwork says Mary Lester Johnson was my birth mom. I was wondering if you knew anything about her or could tell me anything. Girl, that same day, he emailed me and said, let me check with my father. And I was like, okay, well, email me back. And he emailed me not even an hour, and he said to me, "Your brother is about to call you." See, I was get teary eyed when I
Wow.
was like, "My brother? I have a brother?" He was like, "Yes, your mother was my grandmother." So he was
Wow.
my nephew. He said, "I'm your nephew." Girl, I thought I was gonna. I didn't know whether to throw the phone at the wall but it was the May 20th. I will never forget that Monday, and it
What
was like
year?
it was 2021.
2021.
I talked to my sister. I had one living sister, one living brother. My mother had 6 children, and only 3 of us are living. I was the youngest.
Okay.
Um, and she passed away in 2016. Hence the unforgiveness part. Because
Yeah.
2016, I can't ask questions. I can't get the answers that I need.
That you need.
And that is problematic for me. So that's what I'm working through.
That's what you'll get through. Oh, they say, yes, Felicia. I love this.
Hey,
Yvette.
Yvette.
Hey, Yvette.
Hey, Audrey.
Audrey and Grace.
And Grace. I
And
can't
if
see
you
the
guys have
name.
questions, pop them in the chat. Pop them in the chat so we can keep the conversation going. All right. So now you're at a place you've met, and I'm guessing you feel very grateful that you met your brothers and sister, how did that feel? I saw in the video, in the article, like when you met them, how did that feel to like feel connected to someone?
So, oh, my niece is on here. Y'all gonna make me cry. Stop.
Okay, now y'all gotta stop because y'all gonna make her cry. I'm just kidding.
So it felt good, Joy. What I realized, our lives were very different.
Mm-hmm.
So that we're still learning each other. We're
Yeah.
still, but it felt good to know that I had a connection. That I had a tribe because for so many years of my life, I, you know, it makes a difference when you
Mm-hmm.
know who you look like, who you're connected to. If you're me, I know that I'm mean and I cuss a lot because my mama did it, and I know now why I do it because I'm mean sometimes, and now I know why. No, but it just it makes a difference. I don't care what anybody says. An adopted parent cannot take the place of your birth parent. I'm sorry. And that's coming from me, an adoptee. So you can say all day long, oh, you're blessed, or you should feel grateful. Yes, I'm grateful. I am grateful for the life I had. But I'm not grateful that the woman who carried me for 9 months rejected me, and I don't even have the answers as to why. And I probably will never have those answers.
No, that's really good because I think we use that, and I probably said that to you, and I talked to you. I was like, "Well, don't you feel blessed?" And we use that so often, we default to that, and it just made me start thinking, like, why do we default to that? And I was having a conversation about a friend who likes to be optimistic, and I'm like, "Stop being so optimistic. Sometimes I want you just to be mad with me, right?" But we'll default to the okay, but you're blessed. Okay, but it's grace, and it's sometimes I don't know. I think it's us being uncomfortable with other people's stuff, right? And we're like, let's try to make it better. And we kind of throw that out there. But I'm glad you said that because I complain about people saying that in other situations, but I said it to you. You're like,
You did,
yes, you
you
did,
did,
ma'am. Yes, you did.
but that's
Yes, you did.
okay.
But no, I'm glad because you're like, that's the whole point, right? This is for me to learn about myself and be a better person. So I love that you said that. All right, here's a question from Talisha. Did your siblings know about you?
They did, and my sister, she always tells me. She said we would ask mom about you all the time, like where's Falisha? Because my brother remembers. He remembers when I was picked up at the shot house that my mother, because my mother was, I mean, she was kind of out there. They, whatever. But I was picked up at a shot house. And he said he remembered when they came and got me, took me. And the way that it happened is Mr. and Miss Calloway were at the shot house, I guess, one night. And they said, whose little girl is that? Can I have her? My mother said yes. Who does that? Anyway, so fast forward, they came and picked me up, and my brother remembered it. And my sister says that they would always, as my mom got older and she was caring for my mother, she would ask her, Mom, what happened to Falisha? Where is Falisha? She would say nothing. She would sit there and just stare. Like, she would say nothing.
Mm.
Nothing.
I almost want to ask, like, was she trying to block it out or just forget that it happened? I guess we'll never know, but.
Well, I have to think that because she came and tried to see me, maybe she had some regrets, but it was too late because a formal legal adoption had happened.
Yeah.
And maybe when people would ask her about it, she couldn't have forgotten it because guess what? This is how interesting karma is. The hospital, St. Jude's, that I was born in,
Mm-hmm.
wound up being the same place she lived at that was an adult assisted living place.
Oh, wow.
You don't forget the place you gave birth at.
Oh, yeah.
You don't forget that. So I think she just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she regretted it, but that is something I will never know.
You'll never have the
But
answer
I
to.
need to know it. So I don't know how the Lord gonna show me how to know this, but I need to know it. I think I'm just gonna go to my grave needing to know and being upset that I don't know. I don't know. Therapy
Oh,
ain't getting to you, vet.
oh gosh. All right, Cassandra has, what questions were your birth family able to answer for you?
So they have, especially my sister. My sister has been amazing in answering questions. Now let's talk about secrecy again, because my mother's brother and sister are living.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's sister is full of answers as much as she knew because she moved to Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's brother shut it down. He shut me down. He said, I loved my sister. Whatever she did in the past is the past. We're gonna keep it in the past and move it to the future. No, I need some past answers. I need to know because we don't even know our fathers. I need to know who was she at the shot house with that I need to go find them because I need to know who the daddy is too. It's a
Yeah.
lot. And they just keep secrets. It's secrets.
Yeah, and I think that's common in the it's probably common in every family, but definitely in the Black family, where it's like, you know what? We don't talk about it. What happened happened. What happens in this house stays in this house, and we just act like it don't like, well, it never happened. It comes up, it's like, okay, yeah, it happened, but I'm not going to talk to you about it. And
Yep.
especially the older generations, I feel like the younger generations are going to therapy and healing, where the older generations, I think, you know how this, I guess this is how I describe it. You do something bad, right? And you really don't want to talk about it because it convicts your spirit. And so instead of me convicting my spirit of, well, this happened and I was wrong, or I maybe could have did this, or I maybe could have did that, we say we just don't talk about it. Even if we'll move forward, we'll still be friends with people, we'll still be, but we just won't talk about it because it convicts our spirit. So anytime someone brings it up, we're like, don't talk about that, or why are you bringing up the past and all of this stuff, because we aren't healed
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we haven't addressed it, and we're still hiding, behind the shield of like avoidance, I guess, or aggression, because it comes out either way, avoidance or aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But don't you think that sets us up for generational stuff?
it does, and we repeat the same stuff because we've never talked about it.
Yep. Yep. So it's an interesting journey, Joy.
It is. All right, so this is a tough question. Get
Okay.
ready. Do you think that your journey has made you stronger, or do you still have some bitterness?
Ooh, that is a tough question. I think it has made me a little bit of both.
Mm.
Um, I think I'm stronger in that I had to be self sufficient in the area of that
Mm.
maternal love. I had to learn to love myself more. However, I'm not gonna lie and say I loved myself enough because in my lifetime, I have put myself in situations that did not indicate that I loved myself.
Mm.
But I love, if that makes sense. Um, I am bitter. I am bitter now, but I'm working on it. And I'm just gonna be honest. I'm bitter. I don't like I'm bitter with the adopted side. I'm bitter with my birth mother. I am bitter with her.
And I
So I don't know how to be more honest about that. So
No, I think that was
I'm
pretty
bitter.
blunt, Felicia. I think that was pretty blunt. But
I'm a bitter.
it's like I'm bitter. And I think it's okay. I think sometimes we do need to find forgiveness, but we all have to do it in our own time,
Yep.
in our own process, in our own way. And sometimes we say, well, you got to find forgiveness for you. And it's like, well, how do I find forgiveness, especially in your situation where you can't confront, you can't get an apology, you can't get the empathy or sympathy from the people who you're trying to forgive?
Yeah. Yeah. And rejection is the mother of all things to be dealing with, because the root of rejection sets you up for so much people pleasing, thinking you're not enough, putting yourself in situations where just to be accepted by people. That is my experience because my own mother did not want me. And if your mama don't want you, I mean, how does the world want you? So that's been very hard to overcome, and I'm bitter about it because I think I would have made different decisions on certain things
Mm-hmm.
had I not had that root of rejection going on. Because it's deep. It's deep.
Yeah. And I'm going to challenge you because I challenged you before.
Girl, don't challenge me, Joy, because I'm gonna come
I'm
back.
going to challenge you. I challenged you before on, okay, you're saying your mama didn't want you, but you technically don't have that answer.
I
Technically,
do. I do have the answer.
how do you have that answer?
How do you give away your baby? For a
It's
better life? No, you get yourself together and you take care of your children. That's the bitter Felicia answer.
okay. I'll take bitter Felicia answer. Was your mother, and you can tell me if you don't want to answer,
Okay.
was your mother on any substances?
Yes.
Okay. Which we know has a certain impact on your decision making skill. I know. So I'm just saying, give yourself grace for that one. Next one was when you say, "How can the world want you?" Now I've had Grace, Audrey, Yvette, all in here giving you all this love, and you just said, "How could the world want me?"
But I know that. I know people love me and I know that, but I'm saying internally,
Internally.
that's what you're thinking. You're like, you, rejection is deep
Hmm.
and it runs deep inside. You might put on a front outside and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm cool. I'm dealing with it." But on the deeper level, it's you you go through some mental stuff about nobody's gonna like me, or I need to do this to make sure everybody likes me, or it yeah, it's real.
How else has that affected you? Like, how's that impacted your life, like over the years?
Feeling rejected.
Hmm.
Um, until recently. Now this really at a point of where I've almost overcome the people pleasing part because now I don't give a damn.
That comes with age.
I'm at that point, so I'm on the other extreme of that. I used to be like, "Oh, can you do this?" or "I'll do this if you do that," and I can, just now, no. But a lot of that was life teaching
Yeah.
me. Um, but still inside, you still deal with that. You
Hmm.
still have those voices. Externally, I can, you know, handle it, but internally, it's still there. It's still there.
So we're talking about journey of forgiveness. It's hard. You're working on it.
I am. I am, honestly.
what what has been the bright side of the journey? And you may say nothing. You could be like, none of this crap was good. But what has been the bright side? Has it been, it may be finding your family, finding a place where you kind of belong? What would you consider the bright side?
Well, I do have a bright side, Joy. I ain't all bitter.
Yeah.
Good
Okay, so
Lord.
this is the better. My sister said, "What's the better Felicia answer?" So this is the better Felicia. We go in between Felicia.
Yes, this is the who has it? Your sister,
Yeah.
Cassandra. This is the better. So I have to say that my mother was a singer. She was a nightclub singer.
Wow.
She gifted me with that gift. I have that gift has made a lot of room for me. Um, I would not be who I am today had I not been raised by the Callaways or in that situation
Yeah.
because it served me well. I went on to get a 4-year ride at a on a music scholarship. I've done a ton of European travel when I was in school and now. I have multiple talents that I just cannot think they didn't come from somewhere in my ancestry because
Yeah.
they're all talent runs all up and through my DNA. So that is the good part.
All right, we have this longer comment I want to put up here. I dealt with that regarding my father rejection. Every romantic relationship was impacted, stemming from childhood wounds, from growing up believing with an emotional and physical absent father by his choice.
Yes, yes. Those romantic relationships are definitely affected.
Yeah.
Costed me a 23-year marriage.
Oh, wow.
Hmm. But I
Wow.
found another one.
Okay. All right now. It's more fish in the sea. Is that it? Or in the ocean? All right. And look at Miss Grace. Felicia is very
Oh,
intelligent.
Grace.
This is
Oh,
giving me
write
Netflix
it,
story.
Grace. Write it. Write that
Look,
Netflix story.
exactly. Felicia is a beautiful spirit. Grace has all the
Aw.
love. I love it, Grace. All right. So we're about to wrap up. What I'm going to do is Felicia has all kind of resources out there for you. Can you tell us about what you do?
Who boy, how long you got?
Like
so
1 minute.
so I am a multipreneur. I have a business umbrella called Kusopa Inc. We have a business solutions company under that umbrella. We have a travel business under there, and we have an online store. And I also have other brands. I have Gold Digger Diaries. I'm the founder of Just Us Girls Societe, and all kind of other stuff. So check out my link tree, and you'll see all about me.
All right. So you guys go follow. I just put her link tree in the comments. So go there. You can find her I think LinkedIn, her Instagram, her Facebook, her TikTok, all the things in all the places. So let's make sure we're supporting Felicia on her journey as well. Remember to like this stream, share the stream, scream about this stream since can't say it. Do all the things in all the places. All right, Felicia, last word. What do you want people to leave with today?
I want people to leave with that no matter what that we go through, we should always seek forgiveness because that is something that's for us, and I know that, and I'm on that journey seeking forgiveness because it's not about the offender. It's about you. So that's it. And
All
thank
right.
you, Joy, so much
No,
for
thank
inviting
you.
me to be on your show, and thank you, Grace, for referring me to Joy.
I know. Grace, send me some more people. All right. Well, and if anyone, I need to fill up my calendar. So if anyone's interested or have a topic they want to bring to the table, pop me an email or message or DM, and I'd be happy to get it set it up. All right, Felicia, thank you so much. I just want to say that you are so incredible and strong and amazing for everything you've been through. And I want you to carry that and I want you to internalize it that the world wants and needs you. Like, people need your story. They need your story because so many of us are living lies.
I got a
Let's
book
break it down
coming.
another level. So
Okay.
many of us are living and walking in our own lies and our own mess. And so to see someone come out so strong, it gives everyone a map or a vision of what life could be after.
Well,
So,
stay tuned for the book. It's coming.
oh yeah, make sure you send me the book so I can post it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next week. I forgot what we're talking about. I think we're talking about growing through adversity. Growing through adversity. All right. So I'll see you next week at 7:30. Thank you, Felicia. Bye,
Okay. Bye,
everyone.
everybody. Thank you.